Hey Stampers! First off, before I start today's tutorial, I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to brandyscards.com and of course to my YouTube channel. I have gotten some of the most incredible, inspiring emails from you guys, and I am so grateful for every single comment and suggestion. And I just really appreciate it. So I wanted to take the time to thank you so much for watching my videos and for all those great emails and comments. That just makes me want to, it inspires me to want to create more to share with you because it is so much fun. So thank you so very much. Now today's project, we're going to do a fun Easter card, but I wanted to show you, before I show you the Easter card, we used the Secret Garden stamp set. And so I also did a project just recently, and I'm going to go ahead and show it to you, but we're going to do it in a future video, probably in a couple of weeks. So you're going to want to stay tuned. But I had a workshop today, and I made this fun little notepad cover, and I really like it. And so we're going to do a tutorial on that as well. And if you open it up, it is the Secret Garden stamp set, which is also what we're using on today's card. And then if you open it up, you'll see I made a matching card on the inside for my guests, and they were also able to make one in my class. And then a door prize form, and then also I have an order form in here. And then we embellished it with a butterfly and a flower. So it's just a fun notepad. Really excited about this project. So again, stay tuned because this will be coming here shortly. Okay, so let's get started on today's project. This is an Easter card. It's very pretty. I really like it. I've been playing with this stamp set. You've probably seen it in pink as well on my site. Again, it's Secret Garden. It is in your Spring Mini, and it does, you can purchase your framelits with it as well. And I would recommend that because you save 15% if you purchase the framelits with the stamp set. Now, if you don't mind cutting things out, then you can save money and you don't necessarily have to purchase the framelits. But I really like them. So it's entirely up to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got Elegant Eggplant, Old Olive, and Daffodil Delight. Those are my three colors that I'm using today. And of course the dimensions and things will all be on brandyscards.com. There'll be a link in this video that will send you to my website, which will have all of the dimensions for you. Okay, so to get started, we're going to start out with just our white piece of paper. And what I did first is I stamped my big purple flower. So is there any special way? Not really. I stamped it one in each corner. And you know, different depths. You know, some of it was a part of the flower, some of it was the whole flower. And then I stamped one here in the middle. After I did that, then I went to my little yellow flower. Now, if you were to stamp this yellow flower straight onto your project, it's really bright because it's Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to stamp off and stamp on. Now you might ask, well, why don't you just use So Saffron? Well, because it was a little too light for me. I wanted it a little bit darker. So we're going to go through here and I'm going to stamp off, I'm going to stamp on, and I'm going to stamp off and stamp on, stamp off, and we're going to stamp on. Perfect. All right. So there you have that. Great. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our leaf, and again I've got Old Olive here. And many of you know that if you stamp the image and then you continue to stamp the leaf, well, it gets lighter and different shades. So you don't need different shades of the ink, just stamp it a couple different times. So we're going to stamp it and stamp it, maybe stamp it again. I love the different shades. It just makes it look so lifelike, and it really kind of brings the leaves out. It's very pretty. And so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of turning the white cardstock. Is there any certain way? Absolutely not. Let me just tell you, the workshop I did this morning, the ladies wanted an Easter card, and you know, it was great because everybody's card was entirely different. Some ladies only wanted a couple of the big flowers, some wanted more. So it's perfect just to kind of do what you want. And that's what I like, is everybody's card is unique. Okay, so I'm going to make sure all the little boogers are out of my thing here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of Tombow or snail, whatever you've got, and we're going to center that here in the middle of our Elegant Eggplant. Very pretty. You know, I love it just like that. It is so pretty. Now before I go on any further, I'm going to go ahead and take another Whisper White. This piece is for the inside of my card. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I like to have a finished piece of stationery. So I'm going to stamp my flower here in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm going to take my yellow Daffodil Delight, stamp off and stamp on. And I'm going to leave it just like that. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and glue this into the center of the card, and then we are going to work on our greeting. Well, actually, let's see here. We're going to set that right in the center. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. I'm going to pull in the Stamp-a-ma-jig. I don't know how many of you have used the Stamp-a-ma-jig, but I have to tell you that I have not used this thing very much at all. And, well, first off, I was inspired by one of my team members, Leah. She is so good at using the Stamp-a-ma-jig, and I just could not stamp my image like straight, I guess. And she kept saying, you need to use the Stamp-a-ma-jig. And I'm like, you know what? I have never used this thing. I don't even know what to do with it. So then Stampin' Up! Did this fabulous online class. So folks, if you haven't seen it, the online class is fantastic. Now I'm not going to give it all away because there's so much to it. But it's good for seasoned stampers as well as beginner stampers. And yes, I downloaded it, I've printed it all off, and there is a section on the Stamp-a-ma-jig. So I was really inspired, so I've pulled it out, and I'm going to do it for you guys here today. So here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to take the Stamp-a-ma-jig, and we're going to place our plastic piece right at a 90-degree angle right inside the Stamp-a-ma-jig. We're going to ink up my Easter Blessings, which this Easter Blessings is a single stamp that you can purchase. It's in the Spring Mini right now. I'm going to put my wood block in the corner of the Stamp-a-ma-jig, and I'm going to stamp straight down on my plastic. Straight down, straight up. So there we have it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our white piece of paper, and we're going to set this down on our space, and then I'm going to figure out where I like that. So what you're doing is you're looking at the stamped image on plastic, and you're figuring out where is the best place. And I think I like it right there. I'm going to take my Stamp-a-ma-jig, and I'm going to put it right in the 90-degree angle corner of this plastic. I'm going to take my plastic away. I've inked up my stamp really good. Let's see. And now I'm going to put it in the corner, stamp it straight down and straight up, and that is a perfectly straight stamp. That is so cool. Let me just tell you, all this time I have been just improvising and changing things up and punching something and adding it to the top. You know, it all works, but let me tell you, that thing is fabulous. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on the back of the white piece with our greeting, and I liked it framed. I liked it a lot framed inside of another piece of Elegant Eggplant. Now what we're going to do is we are going to stamp another purple flower, and this piece is going to embellish the front of your card. Then we're going to take our not our So Saffron, but our Daffodil Delight, stamp it off, and we're going to stamp it here in the center. And then I'm also going to do a leaf. I really like it with the leaf on there. It really just adds just a really nice touch. Now, I have to tell you, it's funny because a lot of the ladies have said to me, I cannot get my framelit to match this flower. It does absolutely match the flower, but you know, it does take a little bit of tweaking. And so usually what I do is I try to find a point on the flower, a point of interest where I can find, for example, this part of the flower has a little point right here. So I would look at my framelit and say, okay, well that one looks kind of pointed down there. And it tends to work out if you it's kind of like, you know, back in preschool when you have to match all those little things up. Only reason that I know that, folks, is because I got a preschooler. That's the only reason. All right. So we're going to go ahead, and it looks like I'm going to run this through. I'm going to put it on here. I'm going to run it through. I'm on the top. I've got my Big Shot folded. I'm on tab 2. So when you do a framelit, you're going to be on tab 2. And I'm going to pop my flower out. And then I'm also going to do the leaf. Now the reason I didn't do the leaf at the exact same time is because my scrap paper didn't allow for that. There wasn't enough room, and my framelit was going to hit the flower. So it just wasn't going to work. So I just ran it through a second time, not a big deal. You could have a big enough scrap paper that you only need to do it once. I'm going to pop it out of the framelit, and these things are so cool. I mean, we used to just cut everything out, and that is just like the coolest thing ever. All right, so I'm just going to set that down over here, get that out of the way. All right, so let's go back to our card. Now, I like to pop everything up. Most of you guys know that. You certainly don't have to do that, but we're going to do that today. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up. I'm going to put my Stampin' Dimensionals behind each corner. And I want to tell you right now, before you put your greeting down, I'm just going to set this down. One thing that I did that I really enjoyed was I took the square lattice embossing folder and I put my card into that folder and ran it through the Big Shot. So if you look closely here, you get this fabulous textured behind the greeting. So that is an option as well. You could run it through and texture it before you put your greeting on. So let's go ahead and stick our greeting right down right here. Perfect. And now what I would say is find a place that you like your flower and your leaf. And once you kind of find where you like your leaf to lay and what direction you like your leaf kind of going, then what we're going to do is we're going to just take a Stampin' Dimensional and just use it as a functional way to kind of hold that down. You don't have to glue the leaf or do anything like that. Just use a Stampin' Dimensional. You know, because you got to put them under the flower anyway. So you might as well let it hold down the leaf and kind of have a second purpose. All right, so I am loving this so far. Perfect. We're almost done. Okay, so now on page 175 of your big catalog, at the very top, number 11 is the In Color Dahlias. Okay, so I'm not totally sure if it's dahlias, dahlias, whatever, but it's D-A-H-L-I-A-S. So I'm going to go with dahlias. They're very pretty. They come in lots of the in colors, very, very pretty. So I've got the yellow one, and it's probably in the Summer Starfruit, I would say. I'm going to use my mini glue dots, put that on the back of my flower. I'm going to stick that right there in the center of my Easter Blessings. Now that is very pretty. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so before you go, I want to show you how beautiful it is when you add your envelope as well. So I totally recommend stamping your envelope and making it match your stationery. It is so pretty and so worth the extra 2 minutes that it might take to do that. So that is today's tutorial using the Secret Garden stamp set and the dahlias out of the big catalog. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Definitely, I appreciate any comments that you have or suggestions for an upcoming video. Don't forget to check back for my Secret Garden notepad cover, because that'll be a lot of fun. I think you guys will enjoy that along with the thank you note. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you have a great day.